Let's listen to some inspiring stories about artists posted by Redditors. Redditor Popheads cites Jay-Z. Jay had an extremely poor upbringing and was raised by a single mother. He was a hustler and a dealer even as a young teenager. He began freestyling and writing lyrics after his mother got him a boombox. Eventually, after rapping regionally with his mentor Jay's-O, Jay started selling CDs out of the back of his car, and then creating Rockefeller Records as an independent label. He released his first album, Reasonable Doubt, at age 26 in 1996. It was a huge success and is now considered one of the greatest albums of all time. Reasonable Doubt's success led to his career taking off as he released an album a year for 7 straight years. This led to collaborations of all kind, and with artists like Mariah Carey, Biggie, Eminem, DMX, Snoop, Linkin Park, Beyonce, and numerous others. He also played a key part in the mainstream success of Kanye West and Rihanna. Apart from his career in music, Jay-Z is a very successful businessman and entrepreneur. From a hustler in New York to a small-time rapper considered too old to be worth anything, who started his own label, to one of the biggest artists in the world, to being the first rapper to ever surpass a net worth of $1 billion, Jay-Z has had a lot of ups and downs in his life. To me, he's the ultimate example of a rags to riches story. Redditor Totally Not an Executive cites Elton John. Rocket Man deserved more Oscars. I really like Elton John's journey to musical icon. I can't imagine having a stage persona so flamboyant that many just assumed it was an act and then ridiculed him for coming out. Like, he's wearing a hot pink feather boa and star-shaped glasses. What did you expect? Not to mention overcoming addiction and maintaining a legacy throughout. A Redditor who has since deleted their account cites A$AP Rocky, definitely. Growing up quite poor, his dad went to jail. His brother was murdered. I think his brother had Rocky's iconic braids before him, and after his death, Rocky started wearing them as a sign of remembrance and respect. He was a drug dealer and basically involved in a lot of stuff during his early years, even went to jail for a bit with another rapper. He was named after a legendary rapper from the 80s named Rakim, and on one podcast, Rakim said that while being in Harlem during the late 80s, he had accidentally met baby Rocky and his mother. The story is a lot more interesting than I can tell here before making the post too long, so I recommend you check it out yourself, but it's definitely crazy how he went from this to being a supermodel and a rap star. Redditor Trashy Panini says Rihanna. She quotes, "Release back together, you cowards, but I'm from the left side of an island. Never thought this many people would even know my name. Had to be extra, include all my all-time favorite song by her, but Rihanna is definitely my pick." Redditor Shoop-de-Whoop replies, "Going from a completely unknown teenager from the insides of the islands to successful makeup sales lady, we stan an inspiring queen." A Redditor who has deleted their account since posting this cites Justin Bieber. I know. Despite the fact that many people on this sub don't like him, no one can really deny how great Justin Bieber's story is. Grew up very poor with a deadbeat dad and somehow got discovered via YouTube videos. This may be common now, but back then it was unheard of. He was the blueprint to the now common internet star. He released his first full-length album at just 16 and went on to release one of the biggest viral hits of all time while simultaneously being the one most hated guy on the planet for simply being a prepubescent talented guy who young girls swoon over. Bieber has had to deal with death threats, insults, and more on a huge scale while still being a kid. I couldn't even begin to imagine the toll that would take on a person mentally. Went on to have a few highly publicized scandals and breakdowns, largely fueled by the constant hate and media scrutiny, and was able to get out the other side. He won over the older demographic and is now one of the most well-known and best-selling artists in the world, and has transcended the teen pop persona everyone assumed he would stay in. In decades' time, I believe he will truly be remembered as a pioneer in young pop superstardom and fan hysteria, as well as for some of his great music. Whether you love him or you hate him, no one can deny his talent and the incredible story that got him to where he is today. Redditor NicoleoliX replies, "Yup, real rags to riches story. I remember watching his mom talking about her background story on a talk show, how she tried to end her own life after the abuse and suffering. After everything in Justin's family history and personal trauma, I'm not surprised that he also had mental health struggles and acted out. That's not a pass for his past behaviors, because I do think he was hugely out of line and can still be an immature person sometimes, lol. But his story is incredible. He's always been talented and charismatic. After Bieber broke out, everyone wanted to be the next social media turned pop star. I remember all the breakout stars wanted to have Bieber hair, from 1D, Austin Mahone, Shawn Mendes, etc. Watching Justin mentor Eddie Benjamin in his last YouTube doc was also powerful, and I hope that Justin can use the struggles he went through to help other artists." Redditor Shani Tyrell suggests Madonna. Madonna's story is a journey when you get into. From her childhood and her mother's death, to studying professional dance in Michigan, sneaking into gay clubs with her teacher, to quitting and trying to be a dancer in New York and Paris, to headlining post-punk bands, to becoming a club staple with Jelly Bean, meanwhile hanging out with Warhol and, of course, Basquiat. With a full context of her early history and upbringing, her work and persona has always made so much more sense. The more I learn about, the more everything just clicks. A reply from Dear Jessie says, "What always amazes me is that she was friends with such legends as Basquiat, Warhol, Keith Haring. Being an artist in the 80s in New York must have been such a journey. I don't think it was glamorous back then, just looking back. Obviously, it was such an interesting time. Madonna really made it on her own, coming to the city where she knew no one, just to become a worldwide phenomenon." Redditor Chad Thundertalk says, Drake. Drake went through a lot to get to where he is today. The high school he went to in Toronto has a reputation in the area for crazy stuff happening all the time. It's actually wild how much he had to get through to be where he is today. He actually got shot his junior year. Not a lot of people know that. Doctors said he'd never walk again. Rumor is his best friend betrayed him, but they're cool now. With his first band, the lead singer headed off to Vancouver and developed a coke problem, so that derailed Drake's musical ambitions for a while. Another time, his friend got stabbed outside of a house party by a bunch of guys from a rival set, and he had to help mediate the conflict and prevent an outright turf war. Then, a while after that, when he was first getting into the rap game, his ex-girlfriend erased him off a track they made together because she wanted to get signed by a label and she didn't want to be overshadowed. But whatever it took, Drake knew he could make it through. Redditor Blueberry Oranges writes this about Lana Del Rey. Many people think that she got famous because she had rich parents, but no one mentions that she was completely cut off of her parents' expenses at the age of 15 when she was sent to boarding school because of her alcohol addiction. After that, she lived with her uncle, who taught her how to play 6 chords on a guitar, and that's how she started making music and performing in small clubs, until she finally got a small record deal and she released her first album. For her next album, 2 years after, she released Video Games as a single, and the rest is history.